All right, we are live, and hopefully you can see and hear me. Well, maybe not see me, but you can see the screen. Thank you, truck drivers. Thank you, all of our professional truck drivers right now. More than ever, people are realizing the importance and what you guys have been doing for us. So welcome to our Tuesday edition of our Q&A here for Decker Truckline. So as always, welcome. My name is Jessie. I'm with Decker Truckline. And if you have any questions for any of the recruiters, then you can go ahead and call the number that's on the screen here. What way is it? Right here. 888-668-0698. You can get a hold of one of the recruiters right away, or you can apply online at drivedecker.com. So that's how you can get a hold of us if you have questions, if you're looking for a position right now with Decker. We've got plenty of freight. We are very steady on the freight. I know with the economy, everybody's wondering what's going on, how's it going to be affected. You know what? Our professional truck drivers are busy, and I think that we're finding that pretty much everywhere. So absolutely, we're busy. We've got a ton of freight for you. We've got refrigerated, we've got flatbed, we've got van. So if you want more details, we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of today's session, which again, you can give us a call at 888-668-0698 for more details. But we're going to talk about backering. It's a new word. Backing and maneuvering. There we go. That's what we're going to talk about. So that's what we'll discuss today. Kind of give you some tips. I would love to get your guys' input, your feedback from some of our professional drivers on tips and tricks to proper backing, especially from some of our refrigerated drivers. So if you want to go ahead and give your input on that, go ahead and leave that in the chat so that everybody else can see it as well. Some helpful advice, especially for some of those who are just beginning. But of course, with the coronavirus and everything that's going on with that, we're going to address some of those things as well. So we'll give you an update on things that here at Decker Truckline, which is what this is all about. So this is our Q&A Tuesday here, March 24th, 2020. And we'll talk a little bit about it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever and you don't want to talk to a recruiter directly or give them a call, that's no problem. You can go ahead and leave it in the chat as well. We're here. We're going to be answering some questions for you. So first and foremost, I do want to dive in and talk about the letter that you may have gotten. So for all of our professional truck drivers here at Decker, you guys have been given a Qualcomm message last night. You probably got an email from us as well. But the message is all about this letter. And I see my screen is frozen. Awesome. That is awesome. Let's do this. My goodness gracious. Way to start it off right, huh? So you would have gotten a letter just letting you know that this letter is available to you in case you need it. So you shouldn't be needing it at all. We don't expect you to need it, but we have it just in case. Really what it's all about is if you are running into a state or municipality somewhere where it's basically shut down, this letter is a letter of exemption. So if you have any issues when you present this letter, just contact your fleet manager and do that immediately. And again, our main number is 515-576-4141, extension your extension for your fleet manager, whatever their extension is. For breakdown, 8250, for night ops, 8680. But please give us a holler if you're having any problem. If for some reason this is not working for you, that this letter of exemption isn't effective, then you'll need to call your fleet manager or somebody immediately to address that. Now, again, we don't expect you to need it at all, and because we're just running our normal hours of service. So I'm trying to fix this camera. Well, how do we start off? We had it 2 seconds, I think, before it froze. All right, we're good. So anyways, we don't expect you to need it at all, but in case something comes up where you do, we want to make sure that you have it. So again, this is the letter of exemption that you received, both a Qualcomm message from us as well as an email from us letting you know that it's here, it's available if you need it. We don't expect you to need it, but you know, we definitely don't want you to not have it in case of an emergency. So we definitely, so there it is. That's where it's at. Get it on your TransFlow app. I should probably have mentioned that. If you don't already have your TransFlow app downloaded on your phone, please do so. There's a lot of stuff that can provide you. It's going to provide you training. It'll provide you access to not only scan your documents to payroll, but also view your payroll, as well as your scorecard for your scorecard bonus, your Smart Drive score, so you know what your Smart Drive bonus, if you're going to be eligible for your Smart Drive bonus. If you guys have questions on these bonuses, let me know, because I can give you more details on it too. Are we frozen yet again? Goodness. So we'll have all of that information right there in the TransFlow app. Any questions on that as of right now? Yeah, I have no idea why this keeps doing this to us. Sorry, you guys. It's doing it though. Well, in the meantime, if you have not already subscribed to our channel, please do so. And that way you don't miss any lives that we do. Whether you get video or not, you'll at least get the audio. Podcast. Podcast over YouTube, right? There we go. Whatever works. All right. So it's thinking about it. You can tell it's thinking that it may or may not want to work. But make sure that you download your TransFlow app. Get that on there. We're continuing to hope and to pray that you guys are all safe out there. We know that you guys are doing everything you can to take care of us, to take care of really the whole nation right now with everything that's going on. We ask that you continue to do so. I mean, you guys are making this world work right now, and I think more and more people are recognizing that. Thankfully, you know, sometimes you don't get the respect and everything that we would hope you have, but now you're starting. I think that now people are starting to realize how detrimental it is to have a truck driver out there taking care of us and providing the simple things in life. I mean, the basics, whether it's your Clorox wipes or your hand sanitizer or your toilet paper or your food or whatever it is. I think, you know, we're recognizing that more and more. Hey, Howard. Howard Lewis is right here. Now it doesn't look like it's a new picture. I was going to say it looks like a new pic, but maybe not. Of the truck. We've got some great pictures of the truck here lately. You guys feel free to send them over to us on Facebook, facebook.com/DTL Inc. If you're not already following us on Facebook, we go live every Monday at 4 p.m. So join us there so that we can keep you up to date with everything that's going on. But yeah, like I said, we're with the coronavirus that's going on. You guys are continuing to work your tails off. You're doing great. You're busier than ever. I know it. We know that we haven't been able to get some of these basics ordered from the suppliers. We've tried to order some hand sanitizers for you guys, some disinfectant wipes, things like that. We're not able to get them right now. The suppliers they're not letting you purchase them. So if you are able to purchase them at a truck stop or Walmart or store anywhere, then make sure that you send in your receipts. We'll reimburse up to $10 for these disinfectant wipes or hand sanitizers and stuff like that. And make sure that you're using them regularly. Every time you go in and out of a shipper or receiver. I know you have extra paperwork that you guys are doing. But yeah, use it regularly. Try to avoid touching your face, and whatever else. But yeah, we will reimburse up to $10 for those disinfectant wipes. We weren't able to get our hands on them for you guys like we had hoped, but or like we have in the past from the suppliers. So if you can just when you do purchase it, scanning your receipts, again, we'll reimburse up to $10. So scanning your receipt so that we can get it on your paycheck, that next paycheck. All right. Cool beans. Yes, that's, just sick all the way around. We want to avoid that. I mean, the world is counting on you guys right now, and just ask that you remain strong. You guys have been doing a fantastic job. I know that you're kind of got the world on your shoulders right now, and I just appreciate all that you've done. We appreciate everything that you've done to keep everything moving. We've got the freight, we've got our professional drivers, and we are just chugging along, keeping things working, rising above. So we don't, like I said before about the letter, we don't anticipate you having to use this letter of exemption. The hours of service, we still plan on using the same hours of service as before. So we, like I said, we don't expect to, nor do we want to adjust the hours of service for this exemption. However, it's there in case you need it. So that's just to keep you moving. We don't want anything holding you up, but we don't want to put you in an unsafe manner either. So these hours of service, this is going to stay, we're going to stick with them as much as possible for you guys. Okay. Excellent. So keep up the good work. A couple of suggestions as well on things that you can do in order to stay healthy besides using the disinfectant wipes as washing your hands. Obviously, washing your hands thoroughly is important. 20 seconds. Have you guys seen the video where they've got I don't know if it's dye or what they put on their hands, but they're covering their hands in dye, they're washing their hands, and they're doing a good 20 seconds, and there's still like blotches where they didn't actually touch, even though looks like I did a pretty good job, but no, you need to go up to your wrists, in between your fingers, into your fingernails or under your fingernails, all of those areas to make sure that you've got it all. So it takes some time. Make sure that you're doing a good job of covering everything there. So also, besides just washing your hands and doing some of those taking the precautions, I guess, in order to stay germ free, make sure that you're keeping good health of yourself, that you're taking the time to stretch, to move around a little bit. Here's just a couple of stretches. You can find them on our blog. Just basic stretches that can help you so that you don't tighten up. Your shoulders, that we tend to wear a lot of stress on our shoulders, and sometimes not getting enough sleep, oftentimes not getting enough sleep and just having a lot of stress on you can wear your body down as well, and you can get sick that way. So again, besides just washing your hands and keeping yourself clearing from that, make sure that you're doing the stretches, moving around a little bit, walk around the truck, make sure maybe you want to do another pre-trip, keeping your body moving. We've talked about the All Trails app. That's another way to get out, move around, you're keeping some social distancing, but still, getting a little exercise under your belt, stretching your shoulders, stretching your lower back. Those are some of those exercises where I had them somewhere around here. Some of those exercises that you can do for stretching and relieving some of those stresses that you may or may not have. So I just advise that you do a little bit of that. Taking good care of your health through eating. We all know that eating can be some of the most important things of your health besides sleeping, because sleeping is, I think people overlook sleeping a lot. And so anyways, take care of your health. We did provide a couple of Crockpot meals on our website. If you go to drivedecker.com/blog, you can actually access some of that. Let me actually get you over there. And then I can show you some of those Crockpot meals. So if you go over to drivedecker.com/blog, this is where we provide a lot of our information. We're making sure that you've got this information available to you at easy peasy, whether you're going to our blog, you're going to our Facebook page, or here on our YouTube. Here is the blog itself. You scroll down, here are some go-to meals, and chicken spaghetti, pot roast. So there's a couple options for you, just to use in your slow cooker or healthy. In our trucks, they're really well equipped. Now, our current drivers, obviously, you guys know this. They've got refrigerators. We have APUs on the truck, so APUs, inverters. They've got refrigerators. We've got microwaves in the truck. Of course, bunk heaters, CB units, navigation, Sirius radio, We've got the Epic View satellite television, which is over 100 plus channels. And you can do the in-motion recording, because I know that you guys are busy. Some of you guys, I mean, that's the last thing on your mind is the TV. But if you just need to relax, you've got a little bit of time, you've got access to that. Microwave, like I mentioned there, we've got the refrigerators in all of the trucks. So they are really well-equipped trucks. And Thomas actually sent me a picture, I mentioned this yesterday. Thomas sent me a picture yesterday of how he has his equipped with his refrigerator and everything, making sure that he's well stocked for fresh foods and veggies and eating healthy, taking care of himself. So also with some of the updates that are going on here, you can also access that on our website as well, on our blog. So the COVID-19 truck stop updates, where yes, they did keep a lot of those truck stops opened, where they started to, the truck stops are open. Now some of the rest areas have been closed. However, they have since opened a lot of the rest areas. I know Pennsylvania was a big one that was quite frustrating for a lot of people going through, and I guess the public was heard because they did open a lot of those up, thank goodness. So how are we doing? Am I missing any comments over here? No? Excellent. All right, so in addition to an update, it is almost 12:30, so it's 20 after 12 right now, Central Time. As a reminder, if you didn't see it on our Facebook page, the Iowa DOT, so IMTA, they are actually, so the IMTA, Iowa Motor, they've got from 10 a.m. this morning till 2 p.m. this afternoon. I wrote myself a note. Do you think I know where my note is? No. There it is. All right, it's Jasper County scale. I couldn't remember what county scale it was, but it's on I-80. So I-80 is mile marker 150 at the Jasper County scale. The IMTA is providing free meals. So they've got 500 to-go meals. 500 to-go meals. They are free. They are for truck drivers. So any of you guys that are listening that are not a professional driver, you don't count in this instance. That's not very nice to say, but these are for professional drivers. And if you're headed westbound on I-80, mile marker 150, anywhere between 10 a.m., which is obviously past, so up until 2 p.m. or as soon as they're out today, they will be serving. So till 2 p.m. or until all is gone. They had 500 meals to give away, and we thank the IMT for providing that to some of our professional drivers. I know we've got a lot going around on I-80 there, and hopefully you guys get a chance to take advantage of that. But mile marker 150 on I-80. All right, so that was my go-to. I almost forgot. I should have mentioned that earlier. Sorry about that. Howard, where are you at today? Where are you at? All right, let's talk about the backing, some tips, tricks, whatever, some suggestions on making sure that we're doing proper backing. This time of year, it's, you're starting to transition from a frozen ground to kind of a soggy spring. We love spring. Things are growing, but the ground is kind of gooey in a lot of areas, whether it's melting from the snow or you're getting a little bit of that spring rain. Try and stay on the pavement as much as possible, so that when if you have to turn around, if you have to back up or get through to somewhere, you're less likely to get stuck. We don't want those tires stuck, especially because we're hauling a lot of heavy things. You've got truckload, and it sinks a lot easier when it's heavy. So try and stay on pavement as much as possible. I do realize that it's not always possible. Just like with backing, it's not always possible to avoid backing, but you want to as much as possible. You want to go forward. Forward's a lot easier than backing for the most part. So with backing, if you aren't able to avoid it, and most refrigerated trailers are less likely to avoid it because we do a lot of backing into docks there. But if you're unable to avoid it, here are some backing tips to get you to do it better, I guess. Obviously, when you're new to the industry, practice. Practice a lot, practice all the time. Find an empty truck stop or parking area where you can put some cones up and kind of maneuver getting out, practicing getting out. That's one of the most important things. Getting out and look, goal, that is your goal. Preview the area, kind of look it over and know where your obstacles are, what you need to be aware of before you get back into the truck and start backing. You don't want any distractions. So make sure that your windows are down so you can hear, if you've got a spotter, that you can hear them. Get your windows down, make sure your mirrors are clean, and you're kind of rotating back and forth between your driver's side and your passenger side mirror, making sure that you're clear. But before you get out, or before you even start backing, make sure that you get out and look. That is detrimental. Even if you have a spotter, you are the one responsible for backing. You are the one that will be responsible if you hit something. So make sure that you're taking the time, you're getting out, you're doing a walk around, you know what is around you, what obstacles you have. You've previewed the area. So get out and look, and then quickly get back into the truck, because you don't want 5-10 minutes between when you actually previewed the area or did your walk around, got out and looked, and then all of a sudden, 10 minutes later you get back in the truck and you start backing up. A world of a difference can handle or can come in at that time, and really it can be quite quick. So get in the truck, start backing up. And I'm not saying that you need to hurry up and do it. Like, I don't want you to hurry up and back up. I want you to take your time. It needs to be at your time, your pace. But I don't want you taking a long time from going and doing the walk around to actually getting into the truck to start backing up. You can back up slow. You can take your time doing that. But once you have your flashers on and you're beeping and they're well aware that that's what you are doing is in fact backing, then you take your time doing it. All right. Know where your tandems are. Obviously, you want to know where the back of your trailer is, because you don't want to hit anything. But know where your tandems are so you know where you'll be going. So what angle you're at. Judging your angle, previewing your angle. Like I said, removing any distractions, turning your radio down. It is nice to have the CB unit on in case somebody is trying to give you've got a spotter back there that's using that possibly. But if they're not, turn off your CB, turn off your Sirius radio, turn off any distractions. If you have somebody in the truck with you, have them be quiet. They don't need to be guiding you through everything. You've practiced this a lot, I hope, and you're using your eyes and your senses to know where you're at. Just remove any of those distractions. Turn your phone down or turn your phone off so that you're not hearing that as well. Anybody else have any suggestions on what would be, what is helpful for backing properly? Anna says, take as many pull-ups as needed to get it right. Absolutely, so that you can adjust your angle. Speaking of angle, think of your steering. Okay, so you've got a tractor and a trailer. So when your back trailer is headed. So remember, if you're turning to your left, your trailer's headed to the right. So know your steering. Yes. Okay, so Anna says, if you turn your steering wheel to the left, the bottom of the steering wheel will go to the right. That means your trailer will go to the right. Absolutely. So know how that works. And again, lots of practice to get you there. Avoid backing up whenever possible, but we recognize that you can't always avoid it. Determine some reference points. That's a very great suggestion. Determine some reference points to use as a guide along the way. So backing into your path there. And again, at your own speed, so you're not rushing yourself. Making sure that your tandems are positioned correctly, ensuring that they are there. Check frequently. Get out and look as much as possible. Absolutely. Anna's got now. Get out and look. Absolutely. You can get out and look as many times as you want. It's your safety. You know where you're doing, and the more you do this, the more practice you get, the better you'll become at it. You're not going to be perfect at it. Not at first. It's going to take a lot of practice. Even guys who've been doing it for years, they are well aware they have to get out and look. You never know what your surroundings, what can come of your surroundings. So size up the total area, all of your surroundings area, the scene, before you start backing up. Make sure that you activate your four-way flashers. Absolutely, great tip. Thank you. Set your brakes when you get out and look. Probably a good idea. Yes, definitely. Make sure that you're avoiding any of the hazards. If you're backing up to a dock, make sure there are people walking back and forth in between. Make sure your doors are locked and into place. Another hazard that can come about if you don't have your doors, if you've got them opened up and you're backing into the dock, make sure that they're latched properly so they're not flying back and forth and they get stuck on, they hit the door or the dock, or maybe a dock worker trying to get everything situated. Make sure that those are well secured and out of the way. If you get help from a spotter, you better be sure that they are a trucker. Yeah, and a good point. Yeah, if you're getting spotted from somebody that is not a professional driver, somebody that doesn't have that kind of experience, then you got to be well aware of that. You know, that somebody who has experience in driving is going to have a better understanding of your angle, of how you can avoid it, if you should continue to back up to get out of it, or if you need to pull up. You know, odds are you're going to need to pull up to get back in, your tandems in the right angle and everything. Not something to be ashamed of, not at all. Yeah, make sure they're a driver. Back up slowly as possible, but be prepared to stop, and be prepared to stop suddenly if need be. Make sure that you have plenty of swing clearance before you start backing up. Once you've done your walk around, warn other areas using your four ways. Don't ride the clutch. Anna says the next time you have a chance to watch someone else back up with their trailer, pay attention. You can learn a lot from what somebody else does. You know, especially if they're a veteran driver. If they're a refrigerated driver and they've been doing refrigerated for many years, then odds are they're going to have more experience backing up than some of the other divisions. Any other things that we're missing there? No? Oh, we've got pretty much all of it, right? So a trucker spends less than 1% of time driving in reverse. Yeah, okay, less than 1%. You guys do put a lot of miles on there. Yet backing accidents occur for actually over 22% of all accidents. So although the accidents aren't usually serious in nature, they can result in large repair costs. A lot of lost driver time, because then you have to deal with all the process, the safety, the accident reports and all that, and sometimes it can cause a failure in delivery, which can kind of snowball everything else. If you if you have an accident, then therefore have a late delivery or a driver service failure because of that, then you're going to lose an opportunity at a bonus. You're going to, just one thing after another. So take your time. Don't rush yourself. Don't let somebody else determine your speed or your ability. Take your time and do it right. Right? Everyone has their tricks of the trade that they're usually willing to share with you, so don't be ashamed or embarrassed to ask for help. That's right. Thanks, Anna. And I love the emojis. Yes, absolutely. So take your time, relax. Hopefully some of those are helpful tips for you. I would love to get your input on what you use, or what some of the tips that you use in order to keep your safety record clean when backing up. Like I said, less than 1% of the time is what most of the professional drivers are actually backing up, but yet over 22% of the accidents are backing accidents. So watch YouTube videos. That's another great tip. YouTube has, this is a huge resource for you. If you're not able to watch a driver in action, like physically at a truck stop or at a shipper or a receiver or wherever, if you're not able to just sit and watch them, but you have downtime, you Google it, YouTube it. There are all kinds of videos on people backing, and you can learn a lot from those as well. Because most of the time they're telling you along the way what they're doing and how to do it better. and where they've made their mistakes, and you know, you can learn from them. Learn from experience. Learn from their mistakes, not yours. Patrick says let's have a backing contest to see who's the best in the company. That's a challenge. Challenge accepted. Love it. Not a bad idea. All right. So, let's see. What else do we have to discuss today? Some of the different positions that we've got going on. You guys, you're making this supply chain work. You are keeping us rolling. You're keeping us moving. Can't say enough praises. Can't give you enough praises for all the work that you guys have been doing. Like Patrick said yesterday, you know, being out on the road can be tough. Being away from family, having this social distancing from everybody, it can be tough. And you guys are pulling ahead. You guys have been doing a fantastic job. Patrick, did you take my advice? Did you go out for a hike? Did you, you know, kind of get out and about and explore that way? You know, sometimes it gives you a different opportunity. We know we enjoy others' company, but that doesn't mean that sometimes you can't have a little bit of your own time as well, and try and make the best of it. You guys are definitely looking out for your family and your friends by providing them with everything, and like I said, just making that supply chain, keeping that supply chain rolling, and you know, remaining strong for us, for your family, for your friends, for yourself. And again, we can't thank you enough for all that you do. And I love to see things like IMTA handing out lunches, giving you a warm lunch while you're out on the road, just to remind you and to remind everybody else how thankful we are for the work that you've done. But yeah, we have a lot of freight. We are not low on freight, and I think a lot of people, a lot of companies are recognizing that as well. You're not low on freight. Our customer base is strong. The amount of freight that needs to be moved is high. The stores are empty. The bare shelves, they are just crying for our drivers to get out and get them loaded, and that's what they're doing. So you guys are working hard. We ask you to, well, we thank you, and we ask you to keep it up. Doing a great job. So if you have any issues, if you run into an area where you do need to present that letter of exemption, make sure that you're checking your TransFlow app, because it should be in the announcements area, under the Decker announcements of your TransFlow app. Otherwise, contact your fleet manager so that they can email it to you. But that will help you, if at all, if you run into a situation where that state or that municipality or wherever is telling you that it's shut down or if it's closed. That letter of exemption is going to tell you otherwise. Because this is what's making the country run. These supplies, you're providing the medical supplies, you're providing the food, you're making it work. So don't stop. Keep it up. Doing a great job. Anna says, reminder to protect yourself and the motoring public. You are strictly prohibited from making a U-turn on. Yeah, that's the other thing. No U-turns on public streets, roads, highways, interstates. No backing into any, don't be backing up onto the roadway either. It's something that every once in a while you see that, and nope, let's not do that. Avoid it. We don't need to put anybody else in an accident, It's another great advice. Thank you for that. Let's see. Did I miss that? If backing isn't your driving strength, then you should avoid doing it at all costs. Absolutely. Obviously, if you can avoid it, do it. But you are responsible for that load. So if your job is to back it into the dock, then you need to know how to do it. Practice, practice, practice. Right? Be aware of the obstacles. See the big picture. Absolutely. Okay, I do want to talk about some of the different positions that we have available right now. We do require 9 months of over-the-road tractor trailer experience for these positions. So, and yes, some of our hiring area has changed based off of the freight and the needs that are out there right now in some of the areas that are closed. So let's just hit on some of those areas. With our over-the-road refrigerated position based out of Missoula, Montana, because it runs more of the west, we do see a little bit more changing there for hiring. Spokane, Washington is still a really good spot for us. So if you live around Spokane, if you live around Kennewick, or the Tri-Cities really, Pasco, Kennewick, Richland area, then we can get you home every 2 weeks, about 14 to 17 days on that one, maybe even up to 21 days, I guess. Figure a day and a half for every 7 days you're out. But great freight in and out of there and getting you home, so we have no problem with that. And that is, again, for the over-the-road refrigerated division based out of Missoula, Montana. Now, orientation and everything is in Fort Dodge, Iowa. And we also have a lot of Midwest freight as well. So if you live within the Midwest, give us a call, because odds are we're hiring out of your area. And we may even have multiple options out of your area. So if you live along I-80, give us a holler. Anywhere, especially between Lincoln, Nebraska, or Omaha even, to Gary, Indiana. Tons of freight whether you're looking for refrigerated or flatbed or van. We've got weekly home time for all of those. We've got guaranteed pay of $12.50 a week for the Midwest refrigerated. We've got guaranteed pay for flatbed for $13.50 a week if you live along anywhere from, say, Mason City to Milwaukee to Chicago, back towards Fort Dodge and Mason City. Anywhere along that route, $13.50 a week for the flatbed division. That's guaranteed pay, home weekly. We also have guaranteed pay in the flatbed division, $1,000 a week for short haul. That means you're home multiple times a week. You do need to live in a couple specific areas, either Fort Dodge, Iowa, or 20, 30 miles from there. Omaha, Nebraska is another good location. Give us a holler, let us know where you live. We'll give you some more details on what we've got available, and then you can decide if that's a good fit for you. But we can most definitely keep you busy right now. So we can keep you busy, keep you moving, and I know with the industry, the way that not just the industry, excuse me, with the economy the way it has been in the last couple of weeks, a lot of people are a bit uneasy. Maybe a lot of people are out of a job. If you have found yourself where you're in a position that you're looking for a job, you've got over 9 months of recent over-the-road tractor trailer experience, give us a holler. We'll see what we can do to help you out. For refrigerated Kansas City area, we've got guaranteed pay of $12.50 a week there, anywhere from Omaha to Chicago, like I said, Albert Lea, Minnesota to Chicago, another great area for refrigerated guaranteed pay. Some of the divisions aren't guaranteed pay, but we can still get you home on a weekly basis. We can still make sure that you're getting great miles. Charlotte, North Carolina, that is also a home weekly. I have 3 positions available there. 3 home weekly positions that are flatbed. So we do ask that you have 9 months of over-the-road tractor trailer experience. If you don't have flatbed, we will train you in flatbed. So you'd be based out of the Bessemer, Alabama terminal if you're in the Charlotte area. Nashville, we have a Nashville dedicated position. So this one's going to get you home throughout, well, basically on the weekends as well, maybe even throughout the week. But shorter runs for sure on this Nashville dedicated. Nashville, Arkansas is where we're looking. So if you live along that route, give us a holler, 888-668-0698. We have a local position out of Bessemer, Alabama. Still flatbed. Now that one we require flatbed experience. So if you don't have flatbed experience, let's say we're looking for like coil experience, flatbed, coil, some steel sheets, but definitely coil experience for that one. Pays $17 an hour, and it's Monday through Friday. Maybe a random Saturday, but basically Monday through Friday. Patrick said, how is the driver chosen to represent the company for the years at championship in Indianapolis? Asking for a friend. Well, they have to have the safety record. I don't know all of the guidelines for it. I know last year when I don't know all the guidelines and how everybody is chosen. Last year for Montana, you had to compete in the Montana level to the state level first, and then qualify for the national level. But I don't know what qualifies you for the state level, like if you have to be nominated, which I thought you did, in order to compete. Now I'm curious. So let's see here. Let's see. State of the year. How to compete in State Driver of the Year, right? Is that what you National Truck Driving Championships to qualify at? That's what I get for clicking on things. Let's see. So conducting a company championship, and to qualify, a driver competes in one of 8 equipment categories in the state in his or her CDL, whichever state your CDL is issued in. And they are straight truck. So I'm looking this up for you, Patrick. We're gonna find this out. So how to get involved. To qualify, a driver competes in one of 8 categories at your state level with your CDL or wherever your CDL is issued. So straight truck is one, 3-axle tractor trailer semi-truck, 4-axle tractor semi-trailer, 5-axle tractor semi-trailer, 5-axle semi-tractor trailer van, so tanker van, flatbed, sleeper cab, semi-trailer van, twin trailers, and step van. And to be eligible, a driver must maintain continuous employment with the motor carrier fleet for a continuous period of at least 1 year and remain accident-free, regardless of fault, whether you are at fault or not, for 1 year prior to the national truck driving competitions. Rules and regulations can vary slightly from state to state. You can contact your state trucking association to compete. And let's see, I bet we have, let me see if I can find one for you. We had, competed last year. Now that you bring this up, we should talk about this. Let me find last year's. Let's see. Last year's we had a couple. And what was that, Pittsburgh last year, right? Was that? I think it was. Let's see, that was July. So let me look back into our July. National Truck Driver 5-axle championship. Yes, indeedy. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can get this on here, the screen for you guys, so you can see. Lyle was our 5-axle. There we go. Can you see that? Here's one of the pictures. Oh, you can't see it. Hang tight. There we go. Now I'll share it with you. I was just watching it myself. There you guys. You can actually watch that video. What I'll do is let me grab the link for that. Maybe. Let me grab the link for that, and you can actually watch that. Because what I thought was pretty cool is Lyle was talking about I just shut it off at that point where he kind of was noticing where he was becoming complacent and the areas that he can improve on. And this is somebody who's, I mean, he's won multiple awards in the championships. He's competed before, and it's, you know, it's kind of surprising that somebody with all of his experience notices where he lacks, you know, where areas in which he can he can improve on. So, and we always have areas we can improve on, but it's nice to see that. But yeah, Patrick, that's a fun. I'm glad you brought that up. We'll have to do a little bit more research on that for you. But that's the National Truck Driving Championships. That one was in PA. I don't know if that's the one that you're talking about, but I thought that's the one that you were talking about. If not, then maybe I should find out. We'll do some more research there for you. Excellent. Different positions though. So that's what we were talking about, is some of the different opportunities here at Decker. Like I said, if you have any questions, you want to talk to a recruiter, you can give us a holler at 888-668-0698. We can give you some more details there. We've got van opportunities as well as along I-80, like I had mentioned earlier, along I-80 from Omaha to Gary, Indiana area. We also have positions out of Hartwell, Georgia, and Anderson, South Carolina. So those are going to be out about 2, maybe even 3 weeks, but more around the 2-week period instead of home weekly where you would get in the Midwest. So, okay, yes, perfect, good, Patrick. I was just making sure that was the same thing that you were talking about. Excellent, excellent. But yeah, we have different positions available. If you want more details, get a hold of one of the recruiters, get a hold of one of our drivers. We do have a referral bonus. So yes, those professional drivers who you speak with, they can actually get compensated for that. If they are able to help you with some of that information, answer some questions for you. But, you know, talking to someone who is in the trenches, they're doing the same work that you'll be doing, they have a really good understanding of what the position entails, then get their take on it. Get their take on the company and know what you're getting into before you dive in, and see if Decker is a good fit for you or not. We've got the freight, no doubt there. We've got the freight. We can keep you busy. We've got top of the line equipment. You can see some of our videos on our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Some of our videos on the equipment, which have all kinds of stuff. They've got Epic View TV with satellite television. We've got that. Actually, you do need to have the subscription for the Sirius Radio, which is minimal, I know, but we do offer that as one of the perks of the referral bonus. So next week, we'll be announcing who our first quarter winner is for the referral bonus. We have a drawing each quarter, and this will be the first quarter drawing, the first drawing for the year for 2020 on the referral bonus next week. So we'll talk a little bit about that next week and who the winner is. The winner will have their option of a laptop or a tablet or $750 in cash. So that is an option for that individual who wins the drawing. And in order to get into the drawing, you have to refer one or more driver. For every driver you refer in 2020, your name will be put in the drawing. So say you refer 4 or 5 drivers, your name's going to be in there 4 or 5 times, you know, obviously, depending on how many times you referred. But there's other bonuses too. So after 2 referrals in 2020, you get 12 months paid Sirius Radio. For every driver you refer, you get a minimum of $1,500 paid within 90 days for everyone that's referred. At 4 and 5 drivers, if you refer 4 and 5 drivers, you'll get $2,000 per driver, again, paid within 90 days, and $2,500 per driver if you refer 6 or more within 2020. All paid in within 90 days. But so yeah, there's other ways. Talk to a recruiter, get more information off them. Talk to one of our drivers if you're interested in Decker. They can give you some details. They'll give you an honest review of the company, good understanding, and see, you know, they're probably not going to know whether or not we have a position necessarily in your area. They may very well know, but that's when you talk to a recruiter, kind of get some of the qualifying details from the recruiters. Again, that's 888-668-0698. But our drivers are going to be the best to visit with a good feel inside view of the company and what we can do for you. So I think they do a good job. Yes, excellent. So next week we'll talk about the referral bonus. All right, anybody have any questions? We kind of went through the backing, some tips and tricks on backing a little faster today, but if you have any suggestions or any tips yourself, I would so love it if you put it in the chat so that other people can gain that knowledge from the tips that you have as well. Excellent. Join us next week at 4 p.m. Central on our Facebook channel, facebook.com/DTLink, and we'll be talking about the referral bonus. We'll be talking more about the different positions that we have available and all that good stuff, as well as having the drawing next week. We'll have the drawing actually on the 1st. So is the 1st Tuesday, or is that... I don't remember. Let's see. We'll have the drawing on the 1st, though, which will be Wednesday. So we'll have a live on Monday. We'll have at 4 p.m. Central on Facebook channel. We'll have a live on Tuesday, the 31st, on our YouTube channel right here, noon Central. And then we'll have a live on Wednesday for the drawing for our referral bonus. But you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. If you have any questions, if you're wondering about updates for the coronavirus and how it's affecting our driver, our company, then go to our Facebook page. Stay up to date on that. We will continue to provide information on that. Facebook.com/DTL Inc. We'll be providing information through the Qualcomm message, through email. We'll be providing it on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We are going to make sure that you are educated on it, or at least have access to all that information and easily found. So, and as always, if you have any questions or if you need some answers for on how to do anything, then go ahead and give us a call. Give the recruiters a call at 888-668-0698. You can apply online, or if you have a referral, you can guide them to a recruiter at 888-668-0698. Justin says, I sent a picture of what I keep running into. Did you send it to... you sent it to Facebook, right? Let me look, Justin. Let me look. So, what you keep running into for what? I'm trying to see what you're pointing out here. Do I need to send this to maintenance, to your driver manager? Oh, let me see. I didn't know if this picture was for us or for to get it to your DM. I'll find out. I'll give you a holler here in just a second, Justin. Trailer is too high. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So yeah, let's check that out for you. Let me get a hold of the shop and give them that, because now that I'm able to share that picture, that visual with them, they'll be able to hopefully do something with it to fix it. Cool. Well, you made it just in time. All right, so we will, yeah, no problem, bud. We will visit with you next week, and I'm going to go take care of that for you right now, Justin. And then if you guys have any other questions, make sure that you get a hold of one of the recruiters, unless you are talking about, where did I put that letter? The letter of exemption. If you're needing a copy of your exemption letter, I don't expect you to, but if you do need it, you can access it on your TransFlow app in the Decker announcements section, or get a hold of your fleet manager and they will email it to you. But ideally, it should be in your TransFlow, or it will be in your TransFlow app if you've got the TransFlow app downloaded on your phone. You should be using that, you guys. It has a lot of information for you. It does have videos on, like training videos on there, but it has access to your settlements, your scorecard bonuses, your smart drive scores, your contact to the recruiting department or your fleet manager. But yeah, there's that TransFlow app comes in pretty handy. Plus you can have the Weigh My Truck app, the Scale app. Now I'm just making things up. All right, we'll keep you guys updated. Justin will go take care of that for you right now. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much for your time, you guys. We'll see you next week.